We are at stage 12, paragraph page 1139. Okay, and
Okay,
our last headword was writing essay, newer type of lesson.
I think I say
Okay,
okay.
so let's start with our revision. Okay, let me just scroll down.
Okay,
Okay, here we go. First question. Okay, so name an animal that has almost universal appeal. Name an animal that has almost universal appeal.
a dog
Is an animal
is an
that
animal
has
that
almost
has almost
universal appeal.
universal appeal.
When you write something in English, like an email, for example, do you go over it at the end to check for mistakes?
To check
When
for
you write
mistakes.
something in English, like an email, for example, do you go over it at the end to check for mistakes? Yes or no?
Yes,
When I write something
when I write
in
something
English, like an
English,
email, for
like an
example,
email, for
I
example,
go over it
I
at
go
the
over
end
it at
to
the
check
end
for
to
mistakes.
check for mistakes.
Regit, if you felt very doubtful about a work colleague's ability to do their job properly, would you tell anyone else in the company? If you felt very doubtful about a work colleague's ability to do their job properly, would you tell anyone else in the company? Yes or no?
No.
If I felt
If I
very
felt
doubtful
very
about a
doubtful
work
about
colleague's
work colleagues'
ability to do their
ability
job
to do
properly,
their job
I
properly,
wouldn't tell
I
anyone
wouldn't
else
tell anyone
in the
else
company.
in the company.
We could make a sentence with the word doubtless or no doubt. Make a sentence with the word doubtless or no doubt, please. He may be late
He
for the
may be
wedding,
late for the
but
wedding,
no doubt
but no
he'll
doubt
get here in
he'll get
time
here
for
in
the
time
reception
for the
afterwards.
reception after work.
Very good. Why do many people join gyms, start going 2 or 3 times a week, but later struggle to keep it up? Why do many people join gyms, start going 2 or 3 times a week, but later struggle to keep it up? Many people join
Many
gyms,
people join
start
gyms,
going two
start
or three
go,
times a week. What?
start
Start going
start
two
going
or three
two
times a
or
week.
three times a week.
Very good. One more. Many
Okay.
people join
Many
gyms,
people
start
join gyms,
going
start
two
going
or three times a
two
week,
or three times a
but
week,
later
but
struggle to
later
keep it
struggle
up
to keep
because
it
they
up
find
because
they're
they
too
find they
tired
are too tired
or busy to go
or
that
busy
often.
to go that
They
often.
lose motivation,
They lose
etc.
they lose
Motivation,
motivation, etc.
etc. Very good. What would you advise a student to do if they weren't keeping up with the others in their class? What would you advise a student to do if they weren't keeping up with the others in their class? I'd advise a student
I'd advise a
to study
student
hard at
to
home
study hard at
if they
home
weren't
if
keeping up
they weren't
with
keeping
the
up
others in the
with the
class.
others in the class.
Very good. Would you say it was naive to trust one's government? Would you say it was naive to trust one's government? Yes or no?
Yes,
I'd say it
I
was
would say
naive
it
to
was
trust
naive
one's
to
government.
trust one's government.
Very good. Is it the custom in many countries to let off fireworks when celebrating special occasions? Is it the custom in many countries to let off fireworks when celebrating special occasions? Yes, it's
Yes,
the custom in
it's a
many
custom
countries
in many
to let
countries
off
to let
fireworks
off
when
fireworks
celebrating
when
special
celebrating
occasions.
special occasions.
Very good. Why might the police take the decision to let someone off with a warning for a minor offense rather than arrest them? Why might the police take the decision to let someone off with a warning for a minor offense rather than arrest them? The police
The
might take
police
the
might
decision
take the
to let
decision
someone
to
off
let someone
with a
off
warning for a
with a
minor
warning for
offense
minor
rather
offense
than arrest them
rather than arrest them
because they can tell
because they
that
can
the
tell
person
that the
regrets
person
their
regrets
actions
their
and they
actions
don't
and they
envisage
don't
the
envisage
person
the
committing
person
a
committing
similar offense
a
again.
similar offense again.
In the newspaper headline, President to resign, what does the infinitive to resign mean? In the newspaper headline, President to resign,
President to
what does the
resign.
infinitive to resign mean? In the newspaper
In the
headline,
newspaper headline,
President to resign,
President to
the
resign.
infinitive to
The
resign
infinitive
means
to resign means
to it
to
is going to resign.
is going to resign.
Very good. What do we call the small room in a theater where members of the audience can leave their bags and overcoats? What do we call the small room in the theater where members of the audience can leave their bags and overcoats? We call the small
We
room
call
in the
the small
theater
room in the
where
theater
members of the
where
audience
members of the
can leave their
audience
bags
can
and
leave their bags
overcoats,
and
the
overcoat
cloakroom.
the cloakroom.
Very good. Okay. Next, here we go. What do we mean by an essay? What do we mean by an essay? By an essay,
By an
we
essay,
mean a short
we
piece
mean
of
a short
writing
piece of
that
writing
presents and
that
discusses
presents and
ideas
discusses
on a
ideas
particular topic
on a particular
and
topic
reaches a
and
conclusion.
reaches conclusions.
And who are essays usually written by? And who are essays usually
Essays
written
usually
by?
written by
Essays are usually
essays are
written by
usually written
students
by students
at school,
at
college, or
school, college,
university.
or universities.
Very good. How does an essay normally start? How does an essay
As
normally
essay
start?
normally start.
An essay
An
normally
essay
starts
normally
with
starts
general
with
information
general
that
information
introduces
that
the topic
introduces
of the
the
essay.
topic of the essay.
What should each main paragraph of an essay focus on? What should each main paragraph of an essay focus on? Each main paragraph
Each main
of an
paragraph
essay
of
should
one essay
focus on a
should
particular
focus
point
on a particular
or
point
aspect of the topic
or
or aspect
particular
of the
or
topic
aspect of the topic
that we want to
that
discuss.
we want to
Very
discuss.
good. One more. Each main
Okay,
paragraph
each
of
main
an
paragraph
essay
of
should
one
focus
essay
on a
should
particular
focus on
point
a particular
or
point
aspect of the
or
topic
aspect of the
that we
topic
want to discuss.
that we want to discuss.
Very good. How can we make certain our ideas are clear for the reader? How can we make certain our ideas are clear for the reader? We can make certain
We can make
our
certain
ideas are
our
clear
ideas
for the reader.
make
We can make
certain
certain
we can make
our
certain
ideas are
our
clear
ideas
for the reader.
are
Are
clear for the
clear.
reader.
Okay.
Are clear for the reader.
One more.
Okay.
We can make certain
We can make
our
certain
ideas are
our
clear
ideas
for the
are
reader
clear for the
by
reader
illustrating
by
them with
illustrating them
examples.
with examples
Very good. If we are making 2 points that are closely
that
related,
are
should
close
we
to
put them in the
should
same
we put them in
paragraph?
the same paragraph.
If we are making 2 points that are closely related, should we put them in the same paragraph? Yes. If
Yes,
we are making
if we
two
are making
points that
2 points
are closely
that are
related,
closely
we
related,
should put them
we should
in the
put
same
them
paragraph.
in the same paragraph.
How does an essay normally end? How does an essay normally end?
Normally, and
An essay
an
normally
essay
ends
normally ends
with our own
with our
personal
own
conclusion
personal
on the
conclusion
topic.
on the topics.
Very good. Okay, next. Okay, so that's the end of our revision. Let's have New York.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start New York. Okay, repeat. Make out.
Make out.
Very good. Okay, listen. Make out is a phrasal verb. It means to identify the parts of
Identify the
something
parts of
by
something
hearing or
by
seeing.
hearing
For
or seeing.
example, I couldn't make out a person's facial
Make out a person's
expression from
facial
100
expression
meters
from
away
100
without my
meters away
glasses on.
without my glasses on.
Let's practice. Do you think you could make out a person's facial expression from 100 meters
From
away?
100 meters
Do you
away.
think you could make out a person's facial expression
Person
from 100
from
meters
100
away?
meters
Yes or
away.
no?
No,
I don't think.
I
I
don't
could
think
make out
I
a
could make
person's
out a
facial
person's
expression
facial
from
expressions
100
from
meters away.
100 meters away,
Very good. Next, repeat straight away.
straight away,
Right away.
right away.
Very good. Okay, listen, straight away or right away is an adverb. It means immediately or without delay.
What is
For
that delay?
example, the leaking water pipes in my
Water
house
pipes in
cause a
my
lot of
house
trouble.
cause a lot of trouble.
Therefore, I called the
Therefore,
plumber
I
straight
call the
away.
plumber to right away.
Okay, let's practice. If you discovered a leaking water pipe in your home, would you call for a plumber straight away or try to fix the problem
Try to
yourself?
fix the problem
If you
yourself.
discovered a leaking water pipe in your home, would you call for a plumber straight away or try to fix the problem yourself? If I discovered
If I
a leaking
discovered
water pipe
a
in
leaking
my
water
home,
pipe in my home,
I'd
I'd try to
fix the problem myself
fix the problem myself
before calling a plumber.
before calling a plumber.
Very good. Next, repeat reliable.
Reliable.
Very good. Okay, listen. Reliable is an adjective.
Adjective.
It means someone that can be trusted,
That can
true
be
or
trusted,
honest, and you can depend
true and
on.
honest. You
For
can depend on.
example, the most reliable member of my family is my dad. He always
That
keeps his promises and never promises things he
never
couldn't
promise
give.
to
Let's practice. Who's the least reliable member of your family? Who's the least reliable member of your family? My
uh, my daughter
is the least
is the
reliable
least
member
reliable
of
member
my family.
of my family.
Very good. Let's repeat. Take in.
Take in.
Very good. Okay, listen. Take in is a phrasal verb. It means to understand pieces of information and remember them completely. For
Okay.
example, the man on the side street gave clear directions. It was easy to take in the information. That's why we were never lost.
Never lost.
To be taken in means to be fooled by someone. For
Full
example,
by
it's common for people to be taken in by the claims of dishonest salesmen because they often say good things about the stuff they sell
about the stuff
as a way to increase their sales. People often discover later that they've been ripped off after using the product.
using the product.
Let's practice. When someone gives you direction to go somewhere, are you good at taking them in or do you quickly get confused? When someone gives you direction to go somewhere, are you good at taking them in or do you quickly get confused? When someone gives
When
me
someone
direction
gives me
to go
directions
somewhere,
to go
I'm good
somewhere,
at taking them
I'm good
in.
at taking them. I am good at taking them in.
Very good. Is it common for people to be taken in by the claims of dishonest salesmen and later discover
Later
they've been
discover
ripped off?
they be
Is
ripped
it
off.
common for people to be taken in by the claims of dishonest salesmen and later discover they've been ripped off?
They be ripped
Yes,
off.
it's
Yes,
common for
it's
people
common
to
for
be
people
taken in
to be
by the
taken in
claims of
by the claims
dishonest
by the claims
salesmen
of dishonest salesman,
and later discover
and later
they've
discover
been ripped off.
they've been ripped off.
Very good. One more. Yes,
Okay.
it's common
Yes,
for people
it's common
to
for
be
people
taken in
to be
by the
taken in
claims of
by the claims
dishonest
of
salesmen
dishonest
and
salesman,
later discover
and later
they've
discovered
been ripped off.
they've been ripped off.
Very good. Next, repeat. Mommy,
Mommy,
daddy.
daddy,
Very good. Okay, listen. Mommy is a noun. English children call their mothers mommy.
mommy.
Daddy is a noun. English children call their father daddy. Let's practice. What the most young English children call their mom and dad? What the most young English children call their mom and dad? Most young English
Also,
children
younger English
call their
children
mom and dad
call their mom and
mommy
dad
and daddy.
mommy and daddy.
Very good. Okay, next repeat. Manhood,
Manhood,
womanhood,
womanhood,
motherhood.
motherhood.
Very good. Okay, listen. Manhood is a noun. It is the state of being a man. For example, some men think not crying is the proof of their manhood. Womanhood is a noun. It is the state of being a woman. For example, women have the right to protect their womanhood against violations. Motherhood is a noun. It is the state of being a mother. For example, motherhood often changes a woman's
Often change
priorities
our
in life
woman's
because
priorities
they
in
are already
because
expected
they
to
already
care for their
expected
children
to
and
care for
family.
their children and their family.
Let's practice. What do the words manhood, womanhood, etc. mean? What do the words manhood and womanhood mean? The words manhood
The word
and
manhood
womanhood
and womanhood
means the state of
means the
being a
state
man,
of being a
the state
man,
of being a
the
woman,
state of being a woman,
etc.
etc.
Whereas motherhood often changes a woman's priorities in life. Does motherhood often change a woman's priorities in life? Yes,
Yes,
motherhood often
motherhood
changes
often
a
changes
woman's
a
priorities in
woman's
life.
priorities and life.
In life.
In life.
Very good. Next, repeat last.
Last.
Very good. Okay, listen. Last is a verb. It means to continue to live through, often with some difficulty.
Often with some
For
difficulties.
example, if I had to, I reckon I could last 2 days just on
Last
the food I
2 days.
have at
Last
home right now.
I have at home right now.
Let's practice. If you had to, how long do you reckon you could last just on the food you have at home right now? If you had to, how long do you reckon you could last just on the food you have at home right now? If I had to,
If I
I
had to,
reckon I could
I
last
reckon I could last about 5 days
just on the food
just on the
I
food
have at home right
I
now.
have at home right now.
Very good. Let's repeat. Flake.
Uh,
Flake.
okay. Flake.
Snowflake.
Snowflake.
Very good. Occasion flake is a noun. It is a small, thin, broken
It's
piece of something.
broken piece
For
of something.
example, by a flake of rock, we mean a small piece from a broken
Small
rock.
piece of from a broken log.
Snowflake is a noun. It is a little crystal of
It's a little
snow.
crystal
For
of
example,
snow.
every snowflake that falls from the sky is unique in shape, size, etc.
Shape, size, etc.
Let's practice. Is every snowflake that falls from the sky unique? Is every snowflake that falls from the sky unique? Yes, every
Yes,
snowflake
every
that falls
snowflake
from the
that
sky
falls from
is
the sky
unique.
is unique.
Very good. Next, repeat. Absent.
Absent.
Very good. Okay, listen. Absent is an adjective. It means not in a place or event
Place.
when one is expected to attend.
Place to
For
attend.
example, all the students are here today. Nobody is absent.
Nobody is absent.
Yesterday, John wasn't
Yesterday,
here. He
he
was
wasn't
absent
here. He
yesterday.
was absent yesterday.
Let's practice. Are any members of this class absent today? Are any members of this class absent today? Yes or no?
No,
Not any members
not
of
any
this
members
class are
of this
absent
class
today.
are absent today.
Very good. Next, repeat. Be inclined.
Be inclined.
Accumulate.
Accumulate.
Attic.
Attic.
Stuffy.
Stuffy.
Hilly.
Chilly.
Very good. Okay, listen. Accumulate is a verb. It means to collect or gather a large
Collect
number
or
of
gather
something
large number
together
of
in one
something
place.
together in one
For
place.
example, I sometimes accumulate my room with a lot of useless
Accumulate
junk.
a lot of junk.
Attic is a noun. It is a space or room just
Space
below the roof
room
of a
just
building or
below
a
the
house.
roof of the building or
For
house.
example, my mom placed all the useless stuff in the attic. Stuffy is an adjective. It means lacking fresh air. For example, no one likes staying in a hot and stuffy
In a
room.
hot and stuffy room.
Chilly is an adjective. It means
Adjective.
uncomfortably cold. For
Uncomfortably
example,
cold.
in winter, we should close our windows so that
Close
the
our windows
house will
so
not
that
get
the
chilly.
house will not get chilly.
Be inclined is an adjective. It means to have a tendency
To have a
of
tendency
doing
to
something.
doing something.
For example, if the room I was in was stuffy, I'd be inclined to open the
I'd be
window,
inclined to open the
even if
window
it was chilly
even if it
outside.
was chilly outside.
Now let's practice. Are people who live in houses inclined to accumulate a lot of useless junk in their attic? Are people who live in houses inclined to accumulate a lot of useless junk in their attic? Yes. People
Yes,
who live in
people who
houses
live in
are
houses
inclined to
are
accumulate
inclined
a
to
lot of
accumulate
useless
a
junk
lot of useless
in their
junk
attic.
in their attic.
Wait, if a room you were in was stuffy, would you be inclined to open the window even if it was chilly outside? If
Outside,
the room you were in was stuffy, would you be inclined
stuffy.
to open the window even if it was chilly outside? Yes or no?
Yes,
If the room I was
if the
in was
room I
stuffy,
was in was stuffy,
I'd be inclined
I'd
to
be
open a
inclined
window
to open the
even
window
if it was
even if
chilly
it
outside.
was chilly outside.
Very good. Next, repeat. Set fire to.
Set fire to.
Arson.
Arson.
Very good. Okay, listen. Set fire to means to put up fire or
Put
to
up
light
fire
using a
or to
fire.
light using a
To light
fire.
using a fire. For example, he said he'll deliberately set fire to the building
Set fire to the
because he
building
hates his boss so
because he
much.
hated his boss so much.
Arson is a noun. It is the crime of intentionally starting a fire
Intentionally
in order
starting
to
a fire
damage or
in order to
destroy
damage
something,
or destroy
especially
something.
a building.
Sorry,
For example, he was seen setting fire to a building and was found guilty of arson.
guilty of arson.
Let's practice. If somebody deliberately sets fire to a building, what crime are they guilty of? If somebody deliberately sets fire to a building, what crime are they guilty of? If somebody
If
deliberately
somebody
sets fire to
deliberately
a
sets
building,
fire to a
they're
building,
guilty of
they
arson.
are guilty of arson.
Very good. Let's repeat. Go through.
Go through.
Drought.
Drought.
Very good. Okay, listen. Go through is a phrasal verb.
Present
It means to experience a difficult or unpleasant situation,
or unpleasant situation.
unpleasant feeling, etc.
Present
For
feeling, etc.
example, the country is going through a very serious economic problem.
Problems.
Drought is a noun. It is a very long period of low rainfall that results to a shortage of water.
Shortage of
Drought.
water.
For example, if a country goes through a long
Go
period
through
of
a long
drought,
period of
the
water.
farming industry is most seriously
Is the
affected.
most seriously affected.
Let's practice. If a country goes through a long period of drought, which industry is most seriously affected? If a country goes through a long period of drought, which industry is most seriously affected? If a country
If a
goes
country
through a long
goes through
period of
a
drought,
long period of
the
drought,
farming
the
industry
farming
is most
industry
seriously
is the
affected.
most seriously affected.
Very good. Next, repeat. Cool off.
Uh,
Cool off.
cool off,
Cool down.
cool down.
Very good. Okay, listen. To cool off or to cool down means to become quiet or calm again, especially after getting angry or stressed. For example, it usually takes me 3 minutes to cool off or cool down after I've lost my temper.
I've lost my temper.
Let's practice. How long does it usually take you to cool down after you've lost your temper? How long does it usually take you to cool off after you've lost your temper? It usually takes
It
me
usually takes me about 10 minutes
to cool off
to cool off
after I've lost my
after I've
temper.
lost my temper.
Very good. Next, repeat hostile,
Hostile,
hostility,
hostility,
cease,
uh, tease,
cease, like ceasefire,
cease,
like stop
cease.
means stop.
Okay, stop,
Okay,
cease.
listen.
Okay,
Hostile is an adjective. It means unfriendly. It's the opposite of friendly, hostile. For
hostile,
example, cats are normally hostile towards other
hostile
cats
toward
they've never
other
encountered
cats they've
before.
never encountered before.
Hostility is a noun. It is the feeling of unfriendliness
Okay,
towards
okay,
others. For
hostility
example,
towards
nations involved in a conflict can sometimes be helped to cease
sometimes
hostilities
cease
by taking part in negotiation.
part in the negotiations.
Cease. The word cease is a verb.
Cease
It means
is
to
a
end or stop something.
and the rest of
For
something.
example, to cease fighting means
To
to
cease
stop
fighting means
fighting.
to stop fighting.
Ceasefire means stop firing.
Stop
Let's
firing
practice. Are cats normally friendly or hostile towards other cats they've never
towards other
encountered before?
never
Are
encountered
cats
before.
normally friendly or hostile towards other cats they never
Towards other
encountered
cats they never
before?
encountered before.
Cats are normally
Cats are
hostile
normally hostile
towards other cats
towards other
they've
cats
never encountered before.
they've
Never
never
encountered before.
encountered before.
Very good. One more. Cats are
Okay.
normally
Cats are
hostile
normally
towards
hostile
other cats
towards other
they've
cats
never
they've
encountered
never
before.
encountered before.
Very good. Can nations involved in a conflict sometimes be helped to cease hostilities by taking part in
Take part
negotiations?
in negotiations.
Can nations involved in a conflict sometimes be helped to cease hostilities by taking part in negotiations? Yes.
Yes,
Nations involved in a
nations
conflict
involved in
can
conflict
sometimes be
can
helped
sometimes
to
be
cease
helped to
hostilities
cease the
by
hostilities
taking part
by
in
taking part
negotiations.
in negotiations
Very good. Let's repeat over and over again,
over and over again,
time and time again.
time and time again.
Very good. Okay, listen, over and over again means repeatedly or done
Repeatedly
several times.
and several
For
times.
example, if I phone a friend for a chat but can't get through, I don't keep calling over and over
Keep
again.
calling over and
I
again.
just wait and call again
I just wait
later.
and call again later.
Time and time again is the synonym of over and over again. It's the
Over
same,
and again.
which means repeatedly or done several
Repeatedly and
times.
several
For
times.
example, I can watch the film Titanic time and time again without
Time
getting
and
bored.
time without getting
Let's
bored.
practice. If you phone a friend for a chat but can't get through, do you
Get
keep
through.
calling over and
Keep
over
calling
again
over
or
and
just
over.
wait and call again
Just wait
later?
and call
If
again
you
later.
phone a friend for a chat but can't get through, do you
Get
keep
through.
calling over and over again or just wait and call again
Just
later?
wait and call
If I
later.
phone a friend
If I phone a
for a
friend
chat but
for a chat
can't get through,
but can't get through,
I
uh,
I just
I
wait
do just wait
and call again later.
and call again later.
Very good. Is there any film you've watched time and time again without getting bored? Is there a film you've watched time and time again without getting bored? Yes or no?
Yes,
There's a film I've
there's a
watched
film I
time
watched
and time again
time and time again
without getting bored.
without getting bored.
Very good. Next, repeat land up.
Land up.
Very good. Okay, listen. Land up means to reach a place or
Reach a
situation.
place or a situation.
For example, I'd land up in the bus station
Bus
if I
station.
turned left out of this
Turn
building
left out of the
and
building.
followed the road to
And
its
follow
end.
the road to its end.
Let's practice. Where would you land up if you turned left out of your building and followed the road to its
Follow
end?
the road to its
Where would you
end.
land up if you turned left out of your building and followed the road to its end? If I turned left
If I turn
out
left
of this building
out of this
and
building
followed the road
and
to
follow the
its
road
end,
to its
I'd
end,
land up in
I land up in the high school.
high school. Very good. Okay, so we stop there for tonight. Very good practice
Oh,
and
okay.
see
Thank you
you
very much.
again
See
tomorrow
you
night.
tomorrow.
You had
Yeah,
the book tonight.
yeah.
Tomorrow night, right?